Want to know the secret weapon that's making manual work obsolete? Even if coding isn't your strong suit, we live in a time where AI is able to bridge the gap between ideas and execution. If you've ever wanted to design your own website or automate tedious daily tasks, it doesn't take much work to go from the image in your head to the image on your screen. Now, for those of you who are all caught up to my videos, you already know what website I'm about to talk about. Make.com is a platform that acts like a bridge between all of your different apps and services. You can get them to share information and handle tasks automatically without needing to know a single line of code. It's as simple as drag and drop. Think of it like building with digital Lego blocks, but instead of toys, you're building real business solutions. As I mentioned in my last video, the free version's operations limit is perfect for beginners who are still learning to navigate the platform. And getting started is as easy as making an account and diving straight in. But without further delay, let's get into setting up your first scenario, which is the first course in the foundation section of Make Academy. All right, so here we are back on the Make Academy website. I know I forgot to mention the website on the last video, so here it is, academy.make.com. Then you can sign in here. You don't have to sign in, but if you do sign in, it does track your courses completed and you can see like your progression. But we are gonna start here on foundations. And like I said before, we're gonna start with setting up my first scenario in the foundations. So I'm gonna go through this so you can actually know what's going on and you can get all the information that you will need to use this app to its full extent. So the description says a scenario in Make is an automation workflow that contacts apps and services to streamline tasks. In this course, you will learn how to design and build scenarios that automate repetitive processes. By the end, you'll have created your first working scenario. So as we go through these courses, it has like step-by-step guides on how you can do the exact same thing in the courses. So it teaches you and you can follow along. So when you click on it, this is what you'll see. We're gonna read this. It says, welcome to the first course as part of Make Foundation. This learning content has been designed for any new users to Make. This course will explore the following topics: scenario UI, renaming and saving scenarios, what is an app or module, configuring a module, connecting modules, and introduction to mapping. It will introduce the very basic concepts of getting started with Make. Throughout this course, you will create an automation in Make. Here is your learning path for the Make Foundations. And this is just what it says this in every single thing. It's just saying that it takes 5 to 10 minutes per unit. So here we go. We're gonna get right into it. Unit introduction. Welcome to the Make Academy. We are happy to see you here, ready to start your automation journey and further your skill set with Make. This content will help you explore the basics of Make at an easy pace. Each piece of content should take you between 5 to 10 minutes to complete. In this introductory unit, we'll examine the user interface in Make for building a scenario and start to build our own automation. So about Make. What is Make? Make is a digital automation platform that enables you to design, build, and automate anything, from tasks and workflows to apps and systems, all from one place. It is designed to provide a visual layout and connect your workflow needs so you can see your automation come to life before your eyes. What is automation? When we say automation, we refer to the use of software to complete tasks and processes, partially or fully replacing the manual work involved in them. A practical example of automation would be when you are boiling a kettle, The power is cut from the device when the water temperature reaches an optimal level. What are you about to learn? You're going to build a very basic automation, or what we call a scenario. For this first learning path, each unit will guide you through a different step and focus on a different topic of using Make. Over each unit, you will build on it by exploring more functions and options. So it's important that you do these in order. So getting started. Your first task for this unit is to explore the user interface of building a scenario. To get started, log into your Make account. You will be greeted with the workspace as shown here. Within Make, click Create a New Scenario. This is available in the top right-hand corner of the screen. This can be also accessed from the Organization, Team, and Scenarios items on the menu. So I already have the website pulled up here. So I'm just I pulled up this other page, which is just make.com. This is already logged in and I'm on the scenario page. If it doesn't look the same, yours might just look like the organization page here, but you can also go to create a new scenario from there. So we're gonna just create a new scenario after you log in, and that's where we are here. So we're on the same exact screen here. So I'm just gonna drag this over just for the time being, and then whenever we need to see what we need to see, we'll drag that back over. So I'm just gonna click on these bubbles. Add an app. Clicking the plus button will open the various apps that we can start to add to our scenario. Have a quick scroll through. There's a lot to work with. Note that you can search for your chosen application. Feel free to explore our available apps, but please don't add any apps yet to your scenario. Now you can either click this arrow, or you can exit out and actually click the dots, but I like to see what I'm actually clicking on, so I know what they're talking about, so I'm just gonna back out every time. So we'll click on this thing here, the scenario editor / designer. The menu is where you access our scenario editor / designer. There's a lot to see here, but let's not worry about this now. We'll get there later on. Within Make, click the plus object to begin. Yeah, you can also just double click here. I'm gonna click over here. Run once / scheduling. When you are building a scenario, you need to test it to ensure that it works as intended. This is where you would use the run once button. This will execute your scenario. Once you have built a scenario, you can then select when to schedule it at intervals, depending on your need. This is where you would use scheduling. Now, I guess I'll click down here. Did I already? No, okay. Controls. To the right of run once / scheduling are our controls. Hover over each control for a very brief overview. So save will save your scenario in its current state, scenario settings. We are already delving into the advanced side of things here. To keep it brief, these are the more advanced functions that you can apply to your scenario. We'll be covering them in greater detail later. Notes. It's useful to leave notes in a scenario. It's a nice reminder for when you revisit it later. Auto align. This just auto aligns. It just makes it look pretty. If you click it, it'll just make it look better. Explain flow. Once you have your completed scenario, clicking this button will show you the journey your data takes in the scenario. So when you click on this button, it just basically has this like little dot that bounces across your scenario, and it shows where the information is going and the order that it's going. And then in more, the 3 dots, you can export and import blueprints of your scenario and revert to previous versions of your scenario. Over here, we have tools. It's not just apps that you can connect to each other. Sometimes you need to add different functions. For example, you may add a router to send data on to different paths or retrieve variables. Tools come in 3 forms: flow control, tools, and text parser. Open all 3 of the tools now. You'll notice there's a lot to work through. A lot of these will be covered in the Make Intermediate/Advanced courses. We will be introducing a few of these during this learning path. So saying to hover over them. Thing here, yeah. That's where they are right there. I think you can just, it's just like so you can like quick add them. Did we already click here? I don't think we did. Okay, favorites. Once you start to add and connect applications and tools to your scenario, your favorites area will populate with these, making it quicker and more efficient for you to build your scenario. You can add tools manually at any point by clicking the plus icon, which you saw over there. I think that's everything. Did we click over here? Oh, no, we didn't. Okay, menu. The menu is where you will access all of your functions outside of your scenario within Make. There is a lot there. Don't worry about this for the minute. We'll be going through all of this when you need to. At the moment, we will focus on the scenario builder. And that's the last one. So we can now go on to the next page, which is the last page of the unit. This course has 6 units and a assessment at the end. 10 questions. You can like retake them as many times as you want, but it's mostly just so you know what they covered in the courses, you know, what you actually learned. So yeah, you can just always be 100% proficient. If you forget something, you just retake the course or retake the assessment, and you'll have a refresher like that. So now we're gonna move on to the second unit. You can just click mark as task as complete. Unit introduction. Welcome to the second unit of the Setting Up My First Scenario course within the Make Foundations learning path. In this unit, you'll learn how to save, rename, and organize your Make scenarios. Opening/creating your scenario. If you have continued from the previous unit, you should already have your scenario editor open. We already did this. It's right here. We didn't add anything though. All right, first thing, name your first scenario. In the top left-hand corner of the screen, you will see text stating new scenario. Hover your mouse over this and select it with your mouse. Notice you can edit the text. Delete what is there and rename this to Make Foundation Use Case. So you can just click over here, highlight it, use case. Easy as that. Adding your first app. Select the plus button. This will load our many usable apps. In the search box, type weather. Select the weather app. You will then be given a list of actions associated with this app. Select the Get Current Weather action module. So we can click on this. We can search for weather and find it here, and it says get current weather, or you can get daily forecast, but we're told to get current weather. Configuring your first app. This will bring up the configuration for the module. The only task required from you here is to put in a location. Type your current city in the city field. Click OK. So city field, I'm just gonna move this over. City field, I'm gonna put my city, you put your city, and make sure you hit save. Saving the scenario. At this stage, it is important to save your scenario. Click the save icon on the control panel at the bottom of the scenario builder. Note that if you try to exit the scenario from within Make, you will be greeted with this prompt. This concludes this task. Click next to continue. So I'm just gonna save it. It's good to save every time you make a change, or every time you just think of it, because it does not automatically save. Next, you will organize your scenario by placing it in a folder. This represents the best way to keep your scenario organized as you create them. To get started, select the scenario option from the menu. Click next when you are done. Scenarios. So steps to organizing your scenario. This is the scenario that we have just created and renamed. All right, this icon will display the amount of operations the scenario has consumed. This icon is the amount of data transferred, and this icon is the author of the scenario right here. Operations, data transferred, author. Next, you will add a new folder and click scenarios in the left-hand menu, and select the plus icon and type Make Academy. Click save when you are done. This plus icon here, and they want it to be Make Academy. Then you save it. Move to the right of your scenario and select the down arrow. Then select Move to Folder. You will receive this prompt on screen. Select the drop down and then select Make Academy. Click the Move button to complete this task. You can then navigate to the Make Academy folder and view your first scenario there. So they want me to move this into the folder that we just created. So move it there, drop down, Make Academy, move. And you can click on there and it's right there. Look at that. Wow. All right, we're just getting into, this is the basic stuff. All right, we gotta start small. All right, so it's gonna be a little slow in the beginnings. And that's the end of the unit. Literally, that's it. Let's see. I think 24 minutes is a good amount, but I did want to at least get to something interesting, man. Maybe the first 3 units. Let's see how long it'll take. I might have to put it in the next video. We'll see. We're gonna go to the next unit. All right, we're in unit 3 now. What is an app/module? Welcome to the 3rd unit of the Setting Up My First Scenario course within the Make Foundation. In this unit, you will gain an understanding of what is an app/module. Whilst following this unit, ensure that you have your Make Foundation use case open. We have it open. If you have not created this yet, you should access the blah, blah, blah. Yes, we know we have it open though, so we're Gucci. What do we mean by module? To keep it as simple as possible at this stage, a module is any element that you add within your scenario. Let's find out how to add another module. On your Make Foundation use case, hover over the weather app. You will have the option to add another module. Alternatively, you can double click anywhere in your scenario editor to add another module. Next, let's explore the different types of module that exists. All right, types of modules. We have actions. We will use actions the most within our scenarios. Our weather module is an example of this. It will get the data about the current weather for us. Terminology to learn. The data we have collected from this or any action will be referred to as a bundle. So you want to remember that. Bundles are the data that we have collected from this or any action within your scenario. Other examples of an action module are get, add, send, and create. We got search modules. A search module will look for data that you specify and return results. Any data collected from Make is known as a bundle. Bundle. For example, you may perform a search within a database or spreadsheet asking to show all users over the age of 30. The search module will find this information for you and output it into multiple bundles. Other examples: search a range of values users aged 30 to 35, or you can search by specific location. And these are just examples. You can search by a whole bunch of things. Anything, pretty much. If it's repeated, you can look for it and find it and turn it. Triggers. A trigger module will usually be the first module at the beginning of your scenario. It's important to note that there are numerous types of triggers. The main two are known as polling and instant triggers. We will be exploring these in a later learning path. All you need to know for now is that a polling trigger will watch a service and provide updates each time a scenario is activated. And an instant trigger will watch an account, for example, Facebook or LinkedIn, and return any new information instantly. Then we have iterators. This is where it might start to sound complicated, but don't worry, we will be exploring this topic in much greater depth once we understand terminologies. An iterator will extract a list or group of items known as an array and split it up into many separate bits of information known as bundles. For example, you receive an email containing 3 attachments, an array. An iterator could be used to separate each attachment into individual items, 3 separate bundles. A real-life example. It is like receiving a food order with a group of friends and then handing out each person's order to them. Aggregators. Think of an aggregator as the opposite to an iterator. An aggregator will take multiple bundles of information and combine them into a single bundle. To think of this in real-life terms, it is like ordering several products from a store and them being shipped into a single packaged order. So with these, just remember iterators extract a list of items. An iterator will extract a list of items and split them up into different bundles, right? And an aggregator is the opposite. It will take multiple bundles of information and combine them into a single bundle. Most asked questions around modules, module types. If you want to see what types of modules you are using, it will state this on your list when you select a module to add. For example, if you try to add another instance of the weather app, you will see that it can only perform 2 actions. In total, the weather app can only perform action modules. So you see what they're trying to point out here is when you're in the scenario and you open up your menu here, when you click on whatever module or app you want to use, it'll tell you that what type of module it is in the list. So like this weather app only has action modules and it only has 2. But if you go to say Google Sheets, it has other modules or other types of modules, or not just action modules, and other options for what you can do with that application, right? And these are still action modules. It's just they're not called action modules, but they are, I'm pretty sure. I think it's gonna go into that here in a bit too. What type of module am I using? Soon you will be adding a Google Sheets module to your scenario. For now though, select the image to the left. You will notice that there are 2 module types listed against this module. There are a lot more actions that can be used along with search modules. So if you click this, see, I don't know why this one says action and this one also says like search modules here, but when you go into that now, it just says rows. Unless I'm not, it just says rows, but I'm pretty sure these are the actions. Yes, and then it says like you can search rows here too, somewhere. Okay, so you can search rows here. Yeah, they must have just taken out the words action and searches and the different types of modules, but you can tell what it is and what it does by the name and the description. So add a row, applies a new row to the bottom of the table. That's obviously an action because you're not searching, you're not doing, you're not copying. It tells you exactly what you're doing. You will explore apps in the second learning path, make basics. But to simplify, an app is a group of modules. if you search for Slack on the list of modules, you will notice that the module types appear much different. There is no mention of action, triggers, or searches. This is because the functions within the specific module are unique to that app. For example, with Slack, the options mostly fall into the action category, but are categorized for ease of use for this specific app. For example, messages. See, this one has a different list of actions that you can perform. Actions, searches, and triggers. And that is the end of this unit. So that's probably gonna be all of that I cover for today's video, since this is already like 30-40 minutes long. So in the next video, I'll probably be covering units 4 through 6, and most likely doing the assessment as well. So if you are following along on building this first scenario, all we have so far is this weather app. That's it. You put your city and save it, and then make sure you save it. And then the only other thing we did today was put our first scenario in our Make Academy folder. So if you're following along and you've got this much done, then you're all caught up to where we are leaving off for today. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed our lessons for today. You may already be starting to see the power this website has, but we are only just getting started. In the next video, I'll be covering units 4 through 6 of the Setting Up My First Scenario course. But until then, if you found any of this interesting, please feel free to drop a like, comment your thoughts, and make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on the next lesson. That's gonna be it for me. I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.